Are you someone who actively or passively prevents yourself from achieving your dreams, your goals, and your desires? Hi, I'm Teja Priyadarshini, founder for Akashic Center for Healing, and today we're talking about self-sabotage. But before I jump into the topic, I have some exciting news. There is an event that is happening this Monday, and I want you to participate in it. All the details are at the end of this video, so hang on till the end of the video to get all the juicy bits of details of what's happening this Monday. But before that, let's get back to self-sabotage. Why do we self-sabotage our dreams, our goals, and our desires? One, it's because we lack self-worth when we think we're not good enough, when we think we cannot achieve our goals because we don't have the required skill sets or experience, we end up sabotaging our own self. The second is when we have fear of succeeding, we find success as a huge stressor in our lives, and to prevent ourselves from succeeding and becoming stressed about it, we end up making excuses or procrastinating and self-sabotaging in the process. The third is when we don't want to do something or we don't want to achieve something, we look for excuses outside of ourselves. We look at things, situations, people around us, and we say, oh, because of that, I'm not able to do this. That is also self-sabotaging. The fourth is the fear of failure. Most of us fear failure a lot. We don't want to fail in life, and that becomes a huge stressor again. So instead of failing at something, might as well not do it. That is the attitude that leads to self-sabotage. But we can overcome this, and here's how. The first thing is you need to understand what self-sabotaging is. It's a self-destructive behavior that doesn't allow you to achieve your dreams, your goals, and your desires, no matter how passionate you are about them. The second is recognizing these self-destructive behavioral patterns in your own life. First being procrastination. When you find yourself postponing or pushing deadlines, then understand that there's something happening there which is not allowing you to achieve your goals or your dreams or your desires, where you're using procrastination as one of the tools of making up excuses to not do something. The second thing is your negative self-talk. When you're talking about yourself in your own mind and telling yourself, I'm not good, I'm not worth it, I'm useless, all these negative things, then you are going to end up self-sabotaging. The third thing is the perfectionism element, being perfect all of the time. Trying to achieve perfectionism in everything you do can be a huge stressor. It is sometimes okay to let go of certain details. You don't always have to be perfect. But when you feel like you need to be perfect all of the time, that is again something that you need to be mindful of. If that is repeating in your life over and over again, you need to understand that you are on your way to self-sabotaging. So the third thing you can do is to identify, whenever these things happen in your life, you need to identify the root cause of where this is stemming from. Once you understand the root cause, it becomes easier for you to eliminate the root problem and hence moving forward and achieving your goals, your dreams, and your desires. How you can do this? Well, the fourth thing is you need to take time to self-reflect. When you have enough time on your hands, just go into that self-reflective mode. Look at your life, see all those good things that happened to you in your life, how you've achieved so much in your life, and notice that it is possible. You don't have to sabotage yourself. You can achieve these things if you put your mind to it. And understand when you have achieved something in life, how did you do it? What were the things that you did to achieve those things? And then probably apply it in your current situation where you are, making up these excuses, postponing things, procrastinating, doing all this negative self-talk and looking to be perfect in everything. So when you're doing that, take some time to reflect on that behavior and change that by looking at what all you have achieved so far. The fifth thing is to find that little inner voice that is always positive and chirpy and cheerful. Because when we are consumed by negative thought, we often forget that there is another aspect to it, which is being positive. And we always have this tiny little voice in our heads that asks us to be positive, but we don't give it enough credit or value, so it's screaming at us, but we still don't seem to listen to it. So if you give that voice an opportunity to grow, it will become louder in your mind and allow you to be more positive about your goals and your desires, and it will allow you to be just this whole positive self of you, where you are achieving whatever you set your mind to. So let that inner voice grow. The sixth thing you can do is to change your behavior patterns. Every time I say this, I feel like, oh my god, like I don't want to force you guys to change, but there are certain behavioral traits all of us have. Even I have certain things that I need to change about myself. These small behavioral patterns kind of add on to the whole self-destructive behavior, so we need to identify these patterns and start changing them. The next point is changing these patterns in life. It is not something you can do overnight, so don't be so hard on yourself. Baby steps. Always remember, take small baby steps to making small changes in your life, so that these changes start, rolling into bigger ones, and then suddenly one day you'll realize that you're such a changed person because you've allowed these small changes to happen. So be kind on yourself when you're making these changes, especially with your behavioral pattern, because some of us have these patterns of behavior ingrained in us over years. So it takes time to change these behavioral patterns. So don't be so hard on yourself. Make these tiny little changes whenever you can, and you will begin to notice how these changes lead to bigger changes, and then bigger changes, and even bigger changes. And one day your entire life will just turn around into this beautiful, positive, loving energy. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. So just make these tiny little changes possible whenever you can. The seventh point is to make these meaningful changes last. So if you have these changes that you want to make in your life, then make sure that you make them last somehow by there is a saying that if you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. So if you're making any sort of changes in your life which you need to make it a habit, then do it at least for 21 days and then push it to another 30 days, and you will notice that it becomes a part of your lifestyle. And if you're doing these things, you're doing it because you want to change and become a better person. So remind yourself that all these changes have meaning to you. They want you to become a better version of yourself, and so that you can, achieve all these wonderful things that you have set your mind to achieve. So these meaningful changes will mean a lot if you keep reminding yourself about why you're doing it in the first place. The last point is, when you have too many things to do, it's better to write them down. Set smaller goals and make a plan of action below that. Every time you do this, if you're feeling demotivated for whatever reason, you just have to take a look at it and you'll be back on track. I also made a video on how you can achieve your goals with a positive mindset, and it's so important that the key word here is a positive mindset. So do watch that video to give you more tips to achieving your goals. But like I said, make smaller goals, make a plan of action, and then just follow through with whatever that has to, wherever that takes you. Because when you make smaller goals and plans of action, it's easier to follow through. And once you get used to it, then you can look at bigger goals that you can achieve. Sometimes what happens is the self-sabotaging aspect doesn't have to come from this lifetime. It can come from any other lifetime that you've ever lived on this beautiful universe, somewhere on another planet perhaps, or even on Earth. And the trick to it is to know that we can disconnect from self-sabotaging lifetimes as well. And there's a way of doing it. It is through hypnosis. Since I'm a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner, I am offering you a chance to experience past life regression this Monday, the 20th of July at 5:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. It's a very short hypnosis process and it's a group regression process. So you get to meet all sorts of people and you get to experience all sorts of different past lives people can have. If this is something that interests you, the event link is in the description. So I look forward to seeing you then. But until I see you again in my next video on Sunday, I love you guys very much, and I do hope that you participate in the group regression on Monday so that I get to talk to you one-on-one. Bye-bye.